parking lot around 9 o'clock. I'm Joseph Kleider for AscensionPathway.com on the Evan Fain YouTube channel. Bring you another episode of grid work, geoengineering on a daily basis. As I look into that western sector, you can see a rail that they just sprayed up in there. The sky is getting covered. Got the rails back here in that northwest horizon. Look at those rails. Look at this configuration here, what they got. Look at that axe. Look at the grid being built before our eyes. Look at that. That'll just turn into one cloudoidy mess of white soot and then turn to black, fall from the sky, and destroys our earth. Look at how these two rails have blended in together. See how that works? That's how it works. You can see how the rail goes all the way across the sky. All people have to do is just look up. Just got home from the store. Just a few minutes later, and I caught this guy coming up from the southern sector. Nice rail going. Got a real nice rail. Look how it sputters at the end. See, look at the sputterage. See that? Look. Look at the sputterage of that rail. So, again, another day, more spray. I don't know if you caught this. There's a guy over here spraying too. Can you see him? Should be right about in the area, see? So they crossed the grid. More evidence of the grid work. Moments later, I caught this guy crossing the grid. Spraying over there in that southern sector. So the grid is being built once again. Further documentation that they're doing this almost every friggin' day. Look at the disbursement of this rail. Okay, this is all chemtrail activity. All the way here, that's all dispersed rail. Here's that guy that went by earlier. He's really up there doming us. And he's spewing the plume. Look how long that rail is. Look how unsymmetrical and off and on. Look at that rail. Well, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. They're still railing us. Determined to block that vitamin D content. That's one of the agendas. That's why they're spraying so early. They get all that soot up there to block the sunlight, block the vitamin D3. And what happens to the people? If you don't understand, do the research. In a quick answer, you get sick, okay? You need vitamin D3 to survive. This is only one of the many agendas that these assholes have. You can see the grid already built back in there. See how it's dispersing into that nice, beautiful X? Look at that rail back in here. See, as it all disperses, turns into this. This is what happens to the chemtrails. And they can add enough of them, add a nice fluffy mix. They can fluff up some cloudoids, keep on spraying, add the salt pellets or whatever they use to make it rain, and they can get it to soot rain. So the rain and the soot mixture comes down together. Now look at this. Here's the rail this guy just left. And what do we have coming the other way? Another guy spraying. More spray all day. It's not even 11 o'clock yet, and look what this guy did back here. That rail. We got a rail here and a rail there. We got 3 friggin' rails right in a row. All different timing of disbursement. But look at this one. All the way from equator to equator. And actually, he stopped it when he got to that X there. Here's this leftover plumage. The guy over here spraying right now, as you can see. See him out there in that southern horizon spraying. So this is 2 straight days full of spray. Weather report on the Weather Channel, you gotta laugh, said Sunny. Well, the sun's out, but it's full of chemtrail rails. Just look at this plume. Get a good look too, because you're breathing this. This is why you're sick. This is why your nose is running. Okay. Look at that toxic plume. Oh yeah. Breathe it in, you disbelievers. Just keep on breathing it in. Here's the AccuWeather report for Friday, November 20th, 2015, and we're going to take it to the East Coast. This is the remnant left over. See how they swirled this right up through there? That was left over from that big bomb that went through Texas, that big nasty storm. Here's a little hole in the grid on the East Coast. Blocked off here, we got all the northern sector being heavily sprayed. And you can see what's happening in my neck of the woods. The chemtrail activity is, you know, they just haven't stopped. They just spray and spray and spray. And look at Canada, completely covered with chemtrail plume. Got a bomb over here that's going to be brewing in. You can see how they're moving it in. Those SOBs, we have to stop these people. Check out the disbursement of this rail. Isn't that just nasty? The double rails. Oh, man. Just look at the rail this guy just left. Look at the Christmas tree bulb effect across the sky. See how it disperses on one side? Doesn't disperse on the other side. Again, two different kinds of mixes. Alright, dispersed chemtrail plume. Dispersed chemtrail plume, excuse me. Dispersed chemtrail plume. Another rail there ready to be dispersed. It's all friggin' rails. As they're pluming up the sky, you can see the grid being formed. This guy just laced this rail all the way across down in there. Look how curly cool that one is. See? Confuse the public, that's all. Double rails back in there. See the double rails? Okay. So I pan into that southern sector. You got a couple of rails there too already broken apart. A rail there and there's a line there, it's already broken apart. Look how this grid, part of this grid is dispersed. Two kinds of rails, see? Two different kinds of plumes there to mix and match. And that's how they make it. Geoengineering 101. Look how nasty that plume is. Whatever that guy sprayed there, that is just one nasty. Combined with all the other nasties. And then we got this guy spraying some plume over crossed. He didn't really start lacing it till he crossed that grid right there. And there he is, heading in to make more damage to our Mother Earth. Silver bullet nonetheless. Adding more existing plume. He'll probably rail it all the way down there to those existing rails. Here we're back at the double railing again. We got a silver bullet spraying this nasty plume. And we follow the rail over and we got a second guy bringing up the rear right there. So they're double railing to build the grid even more. Going from east to west. And I'm sure we're going to have some guys coming north to south and south to north to build the grid work. That's how the grid is built. We've documented this over and over and over on many videos. That's why we do the grid work on a daily basis, to show you they're doing this every day. You got the lengthy plume and then you got the other little nasty. Both combining to give you a super synergistic toxic effect. And we got another guy bringing up the rear just moments later with another rail over the existing plume. Looks like a blue bottom silver bullet just spewing the plume in the same line. Let me back up to show you. Right over next to the existing rails. And that's just going to spew right out over our Mother Earth, over our beautiful sky. And well, to be honest with you, our skies aren't beautiful anymore. They're all chemtrailed. But look at that nasty plume. And if you think that's a passenger jet, you really need to be put in a FEMA camp. This is toxic plume being exerted through either a turbofan or a backtail fin nozzle. Do your research. Look at that friggin' plume. And now Arizona is now the Valley of the Sick. You can see how the two nasty plumes blend together to create one big, great, big nasty. Those are a couple different rails blended together. The one on the bottom is the one we just showed you. That blue bottom silver bullet going by. They're all doing them in the same line to make that grid work. It's so sad. It's so sad that people think these are clouds or overcast or contrails even. That's the funniest thing. Sun, white with yellow ring. That's from the chemtrail activity. Makes it look like the yellow ring to kind of fool the public into thinking the sun's still yellow when indeed it's white. Oh God, look at that disbursement. Moments later we got ourselves another silver bullet spraying that little diggy plume, and I'm sure we'll find another guy to follow up his rear as they blow these different plumes in here to mix and match to create all kinds of havoc in our atmosphere. Back on those rails again, you can see how people would be easily fooled into thinking those were clouds. See how the two rails blend in together? And then they just need a fluffing additive or frequency vibrations from a cell tower array to fluff them up, turn them into cloudoids. Yes, people. That's how they do it. Wait till that turns into a big mess. You can see this one, how both the plumes are just kaboom, and the white soot falling on each side of it. Oh my gosh, look at that. And right on time, here comes the guy going the other way. In that same spot where this last segment, where the last guy just went with that little bit of plume, now this guy's spraying them a real nasty plume. Further documentation that what I'm saying is happening. And that's not to brag, it's just that we're well informed. We know the agenda. We've been watching them do this day after day. Look at this, look at that, sputtered a little bit. How can that be? How can that be? How can the plume be thicker here and over here where it's closer to the jet? You know, see, it just doesn't make any sense. Freaking nozzles are clogged or something. That's plume. Nasty as it is. Almost looks like a red bad boy too. Have to wait till I get it on the big screen. You can see the hole in the grid there. It's already dispersed. Thicker there, so it's coming out unsymmetrical out of those injectors. Getting back at those nasty two rails. There they are. They're all blending together into one nasty big friggin' rail. Similar to probably this. See that broken apart rail? But this is just super nasty. They're doing it right over the sun. Block the vitamin D. It's one of their agendas. Just one. There are many agendas. Just check out all my videos on the Evan Fain YouTube channel. Been documenting this for well over a year every day. Just check it out. Well, you can see how they're building the grid. As I pan back over here, we're going to show you all the chemtrail disbursement, what we've just been showing you. How it's all transpiring into what is happening now. Just look at that crap. You can see what it's doing to the sunlight. Making the sun really white. Look at that friggin' plume. And this will blend into that, and that will blend into this, and that will blend into, it'll all blend into one big sooty haze, which then will turn black as it falls to the ground. And you're going to breathe it in your nose. The grid has already been built. They've been doming this for 40 years. And if you look on the eastern horizon every night, which we've been documenting, that soot is 40,000 feet high. So we're living in the soot as we speak. And their plan is to cover the whole earth with this. Pretty soon you'll just have a little tiny bit of blue right at the top. The rest will all be yellow and green and all different chemical colors. Just look every night. Go outside and look for yourself. In just a matter of moments now, look how this is all dispersing into one chemtrail bomb. Get a good look. This will all be falling to the earth in a matter of a few hours. You can see why they do the grid work. Look at the sun, completely blocked by the chemtrails. White haze everywhere from the chemtrail soot. It's just notorious. Every day. I just went in the house for a minute and I got this guy spinning this rail all the way across the sky. See, it's happening so fast that people just don't see it. They're out non-stop. Well, it's a little after 1. Let me show you what we got going in our skies right at the moment. As I told you before, it just never stops, one right after another, and we got this guy spraying this nice lengthy plume. And guess what? It's a red bad boy. My God, look at that red bad boy. Spraying the friggin' plume. 2 o'clock, right on time. Missed this guy, got out here just a little too late. Let me see if I can reel this guy in. Should be right above where the trees are looking at, right up in there somewhere. Yeah, I'm not seeing him. Well, there's his rail. Turned it off somewhat to get a better look. I'm gonna reel this guy in. And there he is. It's getting close to 2:30, red bad boy time, and guess what? I got my sights on a red bad boy. The spraying has diminished somewhat as they succeeded in blocking the vitamin D3. And like I said, as well as many other agendas, you can see the difference in the plumes of these red bad boy spray. That's the intermediate mix. You could say it's the icing on the cake. Things have calmed down a bit so far. It's getting close to 4 o'clock. I'd say about 3:45. And this guy laced this rail probably about 15 minutes ago as I was in the bank. And then this guy, he just laced this rail up here. And the rest of the sky has all the soot has either fallen or is blown over into the horizon and building up the dome as we speak. As I close out the documentation for the night, most of the sky has cleared off as usual. That soot had to go somewhere, and look what we got. A guy spraying some plume here. Existing rail there. Okay. Another guy up here spraying. And then there's another third guy coming down off this top rail here, coming down here. Look at that. So they're continuing the grid with these intermediate plumes to make it look like they're not doing anything. But these plumes are dangerous. Look how he went right through the plume, and he's going to be heading for any plume he can find. You people have a great night.